Hello, it's Autumn with Stamping Ave. We'll be getting started in just a minute. I've been fighting my phone and my holder here, so I think I'm in a good spot now, and I'm gonna keep it there. Alright, so this month for March, I'm focusing on the designer series paper that Stampin Up sells. I love it, love it, love it, love it, love it, and I am excited to share with you today this card. I made it into a thank you, and we will be making this together. If you're ready, you can jump in and stamp along with us. And if you're not ready, just enjoy the show, and then after we finish putting this one together, we can go ahead and take a look at a few other ones that I made. So you're going to need some designer series paper that you like the front and the back, and then you're going to want a coordinating cardstock. So for mine, I chose the black. And then obviously I needed something on the inside because it's hard to write on black cardstock. So keep that in mind if you're choosing a dark color. Alright. So I'll be using the Elegantly Said stamp set, and I used thank you on that first card, but I'm going to choose some different words. For this one I chose for you. And we'll go ahead and use the gray ink and stamp that on a scrap that you have handy. And then I want to do it a little bit towards the bottom, because when I go to punch this out, because like I always recommend, no matter what level stamper you are, I stamp and then punch. Unless for some reason you have other options, that's my favorite. That way you can center, and I always look through the bottom of mine. So now we have for you, and then I took the ribbon bundle that comes along with this beautiful set, and I'm using the silver. I'm gonna trim that off and hopefully get a bow. I will try one time, and if it doesn't work, I won't force you all to watch. It is a little stiff, but I think it will work out okay. I like a teeny tiny bow on this so that it doesn't take over my words. And I'm pretty happy with how that little guy turned out. I'm going to leave some long tails on here. If you joined in last week, we had a big undertaking, and that was more than I've ever done on a live before. So now we're going to take our designer series paper, and I've cut this to be relatively the size of a card. It's not too much smaller, and that is 5.5 by 4 1/4, maybe just a hair tinier. So that's the designer series paper that we're going to use. Keep in mind, if you're going to orient your card one way or another, that you're choosing to cut it in the way that makes the most sense for that. I have my inside that I'll adhere in just a minute. And then my base is just a little bit odd. You can see I've already scored it, but it was 8.5 by 5.5, but I cut off, wouldn't that have been 3 inches? Uh-oh, now I better measure. So I have 5 1/4 and it's scored at 4 1/4. So this is 5 1/2, and this is 5 1/4, and this scoring is at 4 1/4. So this 1-inch flappy is what we're going to use our tear and tape to stick our designer series paper on. You could also use Stamp and Seal. I think that's sufficient, but I really love tear and tape. It makes my life so easy. I've learned the best way to get off this protective layer is just to make sure that you've rubbed it securely on, and then it wants to come off a little bit easier, but it is still very sticky. Uh-oh, now it's gonna fight me. So I have my tear and tape on there. It's very, very sticky, and what I'm going to do is set both of these down on my desktop, and I'm going to slide this in all the way into that corner that I'm creating, and then I will fold that down. So what that's doing is giving me flat bottom to go from, and then it looks like I trimmed this pretty good. Might have a little bit hanging over this side, but I think that makes it easier to open your card. And since I did For You, I was thinking I might use different words on the inside. So life has changed for you, but my love and support never will. So kind of a thinking of you type of card. And I'll go ahead and use my green glue. Yay, green glue. A little bit goes a long way. I'm moving my paper all over the place. Then I'll use dimensionals to pop this up on the front. There we go. So this one's really simple. You could use a die to, if you don't have a punch that goes with it, or your sentiment is larger than a punch. And I think that looks really nice with this beautiful, beautiful paper. I of course forgot to look and see what it's from, but you could absolutely use any kind of paper that you have on hand. I really like to show off both sides of my paper, because why would you have to choose when you can show both of them off? So this is the first card. I created another card in a similar fashion to this one. Got a little bit lighter. I like the ribbon tied around this binding. I think it softens the transition from the designer paper to the cardstock base. And let's cheer you up. This is the Fresh Freesia ribbon. And then on the inside, you can see that beautiful wood grain. And then I just gave a nice place to write. And this stamp set is Lovely You. And it also has some flowers, filigree types of images, and I thought it worked pretty good with this Heart and Home designer paper. So I just like this combination. And this is the same style as that first card. The next one I have is a similar style, but I changed the orientation. So it is still a book opening, except for it's the horizontal instead of the vertical. And this congratulations is coming from the stamp set Happy and Heartfelt. And here I moved my ribbon to be right on top of that transition so you don't even notice going from paper to inside. So that could be a wedding card, maybe a grad card for someone. Now my next one, I love my paper so much I made my whole card base with my designer series paper. And so I just cut it traditionally, like you would, 8.5 by 5.5 and scored it 4 1/4, and then I don't have to worry about any tear and tape. And I just use these pretty vellum doilies underneath to soften the transition from the stark white to the greenery in the background. And then on the inside I just grabbed these colors and gave myself a place to write a quick note so that I'm not trying to fight with the wood plank on the inside. So again, this is the Lovely You stamp set, and so are these end images and the inside phrase as well. And then I did one more card just like that one where I used the entire card as the designer series paper for the base. This time I went a little bit different on the front. I really like just this monotone look, especially with this designer series paper. And that, of course, my favorite blue, Misty Moonlight, is going away, but this is denim, and it is available, this denim ribbon is available with the same suite. So I really like this as an option. I think this could be a little bit smaller because then you get a better idea of the inside, kind of like I did on this, but you can see different wood grain, different look, different feel, and I really like how both of these cards turned out, so I'm pleased as punch. I'm always showing off both sides of my designer paper when I can, so next week, if you're able to join me, we will again be showing both sides of designer series paper, and what we're going to do is a corner fold, or this fold is called the collar fold. So if you look at it like this, it looks like a collar on a shirt. And this is the fold, and this is the card that we'll be making together next week. I have a couple others to show you as well. I think this is fun to, again, show off both sides. Maybe not as much of both sides, but definitely works great with your small images and designer series paper. So I appreciate you coming by and stamping and creating with me. We'll keep on the whole month of March and focusing on the designer series paper that Stampin' Up has, and I hope you'll join me again next week. Thanks so much. Have a great day. Bye-bye.